is the OA Dynasty Forum.
Oh, yes.
My name is Tolu.
And my name is Anthony.
And together we have
OA Dynasty.
On this platform, we talk about process to success, and today we're going to be speaking about real life experience of one immigrant thriving in Newfoundland, Canada.
This person is a polyglot. This person is also a techpreneur. You're wondering what that means? Stay tuned. And this person is MC par excellence. Please welcome Mr. Paul Akingbola. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to come and share with us, and we are very, very sure that you're going to be blessed.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you will be.
I know we did a very short intro about you, but we would like our audience to meet you today. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
First, I would say thank you to the OA Dynasty for having me on this amazing channel. Thank you for the good work that you do.
Thank you.
It really does go a long way to see how people reflect excellence. And, sometimes we are tempted to conceal our light, particularly because we don't want to be seen as overtly. It's only you know, the fed. Thank you for your time. So by way of introduction, Paul is my name and my father is Akingbola.
I like that.
So by day, I'm a techpreneur. I also work with a big four. Recently went into real estate, and I think what God is going to do with that is going to be incredible. And by night, I'm a multiple MC. So if you like me to beat you multiple languages, wait till the end of the
That's a plus for someone out there.
Yeah.
So there's something you missed out. Let me just point that out to our audience today. Mr. Paul has hosted high-profile events in Newfoundland. And I think you should know that. I mean, he has hosted powerful events in Newfoundland. And that boils down to the fact that he's an MC par excellence.
Yes.
You know, and that's what most people know you as, you know. So can you please speak to that? Did you just...
I think before you speak to that, is husband and father.
Yeah. Oh, what kind is that? Husband to one wife. Husband to one wife. Okay, let's, on this platform we talk about process to success. Most people see you hosting high-profile events in Newfoundland, and they are wondering, did he just hit the ground running? You know,
When did he
he just came and he's hosting big events where lieutenant governors and things like that are, you know, in attendance. So can you take us through the process? Did you just...
Okay, so naturally, I can be much of a talker, but when it comes to platforms like this, I'm trying to keep it as short as I can, particularly because people's time is valuable, and you know, the listeners will value the time and audience. Just a bit of a recap of it. I've been an MC for a little close to 12 years. This is a journey that started, I would say, for me, I stumbled on board. I have my second book called Entitled MC, which narrated my entire journey. And when you see the great places that an MC has taken me, the relationship that it's helped me build, and the impact it has had on my other reflections in career and other engagements that I get involved in. And basically, stumbling on board for me, and it's one of the things I want people to learn. That sometimes the things we want to do in life, or the things that take us to the place we really want to do, are not a function of the things we think we want. Sometimes they may lie in the things we don't even know that we want.
Wow.
They may lie in those things. Somebody says, hey, can you? Why me? So instead of saying why me, you'd say, why not me instead? And that's how I stumbled on it. So how my speaking life started all the way back in uni. I think it was my first year, where I was just sitting on my tree after school. I mean, just reflecting. I do a lot of reflections. So I learned from my grandmother that when you're a talker, you must always sit back to relax, not talking to anybody. So you're not just full of emptying yourself, but you're trying to also refuel yourself. So as I sat gently there, I saw a gentleman with me for that. And then he says to me, hey, hi, there is a contest happening in the Faculty of Arts. You know, I'll be representing the faculty in the speech contest. Okay. Do you want to go check me around and make a speech? I'm like, when people talk. I didn't even know that I had the gift of talking at the time. You know, then I followed the guy. We had this contest, you know, amazing speakers. We were talking about global warming. You know, it was a fresh thing at the time. Nobody cared about global warming. I mean, I'm talking about around 13 years now. And we went to the competition, everything went good. Then a gentleman came out to introduce the organizers of the contest. And that's what changed my life. He comes and says, my name is XYZ, we are this, JCI, Worldwide Federation of Young Leaders and Entrepreneurs. We provide young opportunities that empower young people to create opportunity. I'm a young people, provide opportunity, empower me to. And that was it. I joined the organization, and that was how I joined the story. Now, when I became the JCI member, I started to grow. I took leadership responsibilities, and then I grew all the way to become the president. Then I represented the chapter at contest that took me all the way to becoming the 2014 World Public Speaking Champion.
Wow.
But I will now go back to a bit of the recap into talking. Now, because you're JCI member, we do not pay for the things that we can have talents within us to do, because it's a preparatory ground.
Please, can you say that again? Like, you do not, because it shouldn't just be.
Yes. So in JCI, we do not pay people to do the things that ideally you can get people amongst us to do. And I think that's also the power of service. When you find yourself in a place, what can people not pay you for that is actually building you? So a lot of people don't look for those lacunae, they don't look for those gaps with what they can do. That is building them even though it's not getting them paid, knowing fully well that they will be paid in the future.
Yeah.
So it was more like a payment in equity for me.
Yeah.
Things now. So I think it was maybe 300 level or so. There was going to be, so that was my first event in Houston. We were going to organize a very big event. And then we were discussing, I think then I was VP. No, I wasn't VP yet. I think I was a committee director or something, remember? And then we were cutting budgets. We didn't have enough money coming. It was a service to humanity project, right? So we had to cut. So one time, as captured in my book, the president then just, at the meeting, just looked and said, wait, let me see. What can do it? And I go, which word? Yes, I talk. But don't put me on the spot to host an event. I don't even know what they do. Yeah, it was in 200. I remember. So, of course, everybody looked and said, hey, Paul, you can do this. Now, the power of people you're surrounded by. Because the people around us at the time carried the same mindset. Whether they were trying to push me to the ditch, so that but either way, they push you, right, to do something that's difficult for you. And by then, everyone said, oh, you can do it, Paul. The president retorted and said, yes, and you will do it. And that's how I found myself doing my first day, of course, free, right? I did the event. I didn't believe myself. Wow. That was the beginning. Now, knowing fully well that the person who was supposed to host the event was going to charge. But we were looking for a replacement. But I took the responsibility. I did my first day. And by the time I was leaving campus, I became a popular jingle. Practically everyone, most bigger events, from beauty pageants to championship to student union. A lot of big events, I was also on campus hosting those events. Of course, leaving school in transition to me even leaving camp twice within 2 weeks to host wedding. Right. So it's something that I stumbled on good, but I leveraged that opportunity to build capacity. I kept improving, and over 12 years down the road, we thank God for what God has done. I can't begin to count the places that event hosting has taken me to, because the way I do it, I think that's a bit of the difference. Again, how would you do something and trust people? Because it is not what we do that's important, it's how we do it. What sets your channel apart is how you do it. You want to bring real life experience, unfiltered, with so much fun that not everything is rosy, everything, painting and pushing, that's so sweet. But we want to share a bit of the sour part of the story, even though we know it's collectively sweet.
Yes.
So I make that recap a bit into my history of how I started event.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, I feel like, I'm going to go back and even watch this and listen to this because there's so many gems like you're just dropping the gem like
Back
that.
to back.
And yes. Well, thank you so much. So, building on that, how has that, so when you came into, so do you want to tell us when you came into Canada, how long you've been in Canada, and how you went into that,
That's how I hit the ground running.
Yes, because that's the word, it's the ground running.
Okay, so I've only been in Canada for 1 year. As a matter of fact, it clocked
1 year?
last week.
It feels like you've been here for
Amazing.
So I've only been here 1 year, and I would say my experience has sort of looked like I've been here. Even for me, that sometimes when I try to recap what God has done in a year, I feel like maybe I've been here 3 years. As a matter of fact, people find it difficult to think that I've been here 1 year. A lot of people can.
And people like,
So just last year, and my coming to Canada, specifically Newfoundland, started on a mixed feeling ground. Because before I left Nigeria, I would be honest, things were getting better. Like things were booming. I just changed the job that I couldn't really decide. Like we knew, my wife and I, why are we leaving at the time? God just started. And here is the power of paying attention to your life partner. I started out spending 10 years in Canada. I had my bachelor, I had my master's, I got a job, I got married, and we have a daughter. Within the span of 1 year.
wow.
I was going to move to Lagos. I worked in the university for a couple of years before I moved to Lagos. Now, the moment an opportunity came for us to move to Lagos, things were on. So the same thing repeated itself when it was time to leave Lagos. Things were booming. I mean, my events business, like back-to-back event, high-profile event, things. I mean, expensive events to the point that when I was coming, I had to make a lot of funds.
Wow.
Because at that point, we needed to choose whether we should leave or stay. And if you're leaving, it has a price. If you're staying, it has a price as well. So, of course, we chose our battles, right? However, anyone sees that.
Yeah.
Now, it was a mixed feeling thing. What will happen? Why are we leaving all these things behind? So it was really hard. But in the midst of that toughness, say, hey, I can't leave these blessings. We're doing fine. I don't want to start up in figures. Like, if I had stayed back, 1 year, the projection was so obvious that, and we needed to. So I was fearful, and I was also enthusiastic. But in between, we managed our fears such as we were saying. So, what do we do when we decide what to do? So, and that's where planning came in. So, while other people are excited about travel, my wife was always saying, "You're traveling, you're not excited." So I'm excited. But I'm thinking, what happens to everything I've built in the last over a decade? What happens? So that was the mindset, I started to. So while I was just searching, okay, so what happens here? How does this place work? I was connecting with people. And then when I eventually got here, I needed to study the environment. Nigeria is a place where if you do a lot of things on the internet, you go places, people will find you. But Newfoundland doesn't work like that. You have to know people and know people that will say that guy does this. And then beyond knowing people, you also have to reach out organically. So I might not be able to share a bit of the strategy fully, but I think the decision to push myself beyond how I've ever done in the last 10 years did work for me. I would see events, I would reach out to the organizers, I would tell them what I do. And here's the interesting thing. If you offer a service to people, please know fully well that sometimes people don't know that they need you until you take yourself to them.
Yes. That's powerful.
Yes. So when I started to chat, people said I was ridiculous. who is paid that kind of amount to work 2 hours. I say, wait. You see, what you want is not something that anyone on the street can jump on and do. But the job we are talking per hour for, they are jobs that anyone with the brain and hand-eye coordination can do. It's not the same. So what I'm offering is luxury. What I'm offering is skill built over a decade. So I could tell them what I carry, and they could get it from the perspective of, okay. And then, I have a physical evidence as well. You know, in the 7 P's of marketing, the last one that was added is physical evidence. So the physical evidence was there. There was a track record. Hey, just go to Instagram. Everything is there. You want to go on Twitter, go as well. So again, what have you built for yourself that will begin to speak for you in another land? Because a lot of us want to just move and start. No. You will build. There is a building phase to everything. So maybe to recap the recap in response to your question would be, there was the building that happened several years prior, and there was just maybe a little bit more of effort, understanding the system, and aggressive pushing myself out there, because Newfoundland is quite quiet. Things are happening, but you may never know. So how do I know?
Yes. Because many times we judge success by what we see on social media. Trust me, there are people doing excellently well and not making noise. So if you're considering a gold mine, maybe you feel like
Newfoundland is opening up. Speaking of which, if you look at, like I said, I recently went to real estate and hopefully very soon I get certified and I can begin to talk about that on the grander scale. But for now, I'm doing property management and relating with people, going places, I've begun to see that Newfoundland is opening up. Now, currently, we have a bit of a housing issue. There are 2 reasons housing prices gone up. Forget mortgages.
Demand is high.
There are more people buying properties in Newfoundland, out of Newfoundland, than there are people living here that are buying. So, and they are offering ridiculous money to sellers that people resident here will not offer. And because of that, the price is going up. And the second fraction is the Airbnb boom. Everybody is having it. So there are no longer houses available for rent. Again, information. So things are happening, but if we don't put ourselves out there, we will not know so much of the things that I've learned within the space of 1 year. So I'll urge you, anywhere you want to shine, please. And I think one of the things Newfoundland did to me was, you have to keep your head low. When I came in here, I keep telling myself, oh, you don't know anything. I always tell myself, you don't know anything. And it really did help. To the point that I became a bit of a surprise to myself. What's going on? Overload. A lot of things, meeting people, going out there. Say, hey, who are you? Oh, my name is Paul. Sometimes I say, hey, I'm actually nobody. Nice to meet you. So I talk more about people. I don't talk about myself. I don't talk about what I do. So that helped me create genuine connections with people who are in return curious to say, something about that. So I get a lot of people who come to me and say, hey, I didn't know you have that level of following. I didn't know you have that big, you're that big on social media. I said, I don't know now, what would, if I tell you that, what does it do for me? Because again, we mistake networking, which is the part that also helped me in Newfoundland. We mistake networking for telling people what you do and who you are. We learned it in the business school that networking is being interested in what people do and who they are. That way, this guy that's getting me to talk, who is he? Say, come on, what do you do yourself? I'm actually a multi-member MC. I do real estate and I build the technology software. Man, I say I'm a co-founder. You do so many things that you're not talking about. But I know you, and I'm happy to connect with you. And that way, it feels like you won't know. So again, resist the urge to put yourself in the face of people with the mind of them remembering you. Because people will remember people that get them to talk about them than they will do people who talk about
about
themselves.
themselves. That's
Wow,
powerful.
that's a gem.
Yeah. That's
So
powerful.
that's been what worked for me, and hopefully, as I remember that it, I just be able to drop it. But for now, that's about it.
But the instance of just to find a balance to that, the instance of keeping your head low. I want to believe it is from the perspective of okay, what works here. I'm coming from a different terrain,
Yeah.
so I have to leave what I know in that terrain a little bit in the back border, and let me learn what works or what can help me to survive in this terrain. I think that's the angle.
So it's the
Sorry, before
L3
you-
philosophy.
Sorry, before you
Yes, go ahead.
answer, I wanted to also mention because I wanted to follow up on what you said because no shade to Nigerians. We like to show ourselves. We like to so for you to learn that you did not come here to with mindset that I'm Nigerian, I'm this and that, right? So that's I think just to really follow up on
Oh, of course. For me, it was, in fact, a lot of times when people, I think, God is so powerful that the way He builds up every aspect of our life, it coordinates. But when it's happening, you're so angry. And you go, God, you're not doing anything. Because for me, it looks like everything I've known and I've ever known started to just add up. Everything I've ever learned started to, the pieces were falling together. But I hated the learning process.
Yeah.
So when I got in here, it was not also the mindset of burying myself. I didn't bury my talent.
Yeah.
But it was
I
more.
just want to,
Yes.
emphasize that. Yeah.
You see, like I was talking about the L3 principle, you have to first unlearn. So everything I knew about making noise, about doing sponsor that, I do events here. You can't find it on my Instagram because that's not where they hire you.
Those who are hiring you are not on this.
Yeah, pertaining to here.
Yeah.
Direct, what's the word? Cold outreach,
yeah.
right? Cold emailing, cold outreach.
Yeah.
Talking to people, hey, do you want to put the word for me in XYZ? Looking for example, on Facebook, someone is putting an event together. I check who the person is. They have a mutual on Facebook that I know. Hey, can you please help me talk to ABC? Tell them what I do. So it takes more time.
Yeah.
So, but I had to unlearn what I knew, which was you do an event, put it out, do sponsor that, put it on Bella Nigeria, put it on
Well, like that doesn't okay.
So I first unlearned.
Yeah.
And then I needed to relearn some of those things that I know in a different way because marketing is marketing. There are different aspects of marketing. So I relearned a bit of the things I knew in another way.
That's a bit of strategy.
Okay, so that's the second part. So you have to unlearn, relearn, and then you learn because there are other things that I didn't know
that you have to know.
that I needed now to know peculiar to this place.
Yeah.
So it was more of humble yourself. The Bible says you humble yourself, you'll be lifted.
He resists the proud, but brings the humble closer.
So it was the philosophy. And a lot of times, okay, someone saw me and we asked, you play saxophone. What else do I not know? I say, now, time and chance. That was there, but there was time. But of course, I didn't just go around, jump in here. Again, we need to facet our life too. I think it was one of the things I learned the hard way. For people that are multi-talented, I'm just getting to know that. I thought she was just a baker until I realized that she also cooks.
I did that to her.
So being multi-talented, sometimes we have to learn which aspect of our life we put out first. Then which next follows. Then which next follows. But our inability to compartmentalize our life can actually get us into some higher level of overwhelm. And then we'll end up doing so much with minimal results.
Tell me about it.
This is
So that's
serious conversation going on. Like we promised at the beginning, it's going to be raw, real life, nothing filtered out, you know. But Mr. Paul, there's something I really want you to touch on. Most people see you firing on all cylinders, and they're like, is it because you just want to, or something pushed you to discover yourself? I said that because let's assume you move to Newfoundland and your parents are rich. There's no reason for you to do all these things. There's no reason for you to be looking for gigs around.
Or you came with so much money, right?
Would you still do the same thing? Hey, and that takes us to a little bit about your background. Is it your background that made you to want to discover yourself? Or just people out there, you said something that made me to ask that question. A lot of people are carrying gold that they don't know. And you can carry it for years and not know. So what was the process for you?
This is a big question. And you lumped a number of things. I'm just going to be able to address them. My parents are not rich. As a matter of fact, I lost my mom when I was 12. And at that point, it felt like my entire dream was gone. And that's because I wanted to be a pilot. As a child, my mom asked me, I was just 1, what would you like to be? I said, I'd like to be a pilot. And she told me that so long as I'm alive, you'll be one. So for someone with that kind of trajectory, it was really difficult to first let go of that lost hope. Because she was breadwinner. She was doing fine. As a matter of fact, as we grew, we were getting wealthy. Right. But everything changed the moment she died because all the wealth was gone. There was no insurance, people who were wealthy, less of education. So no financial planning, no backup, nothing. So within a few years, everything was gone. And first, it was me grappling with the fact that I would never be able to be what I wanted to be. But again, several decades later, I would realize that I never wanted to be a pilot. So, what aspect of your life seems impossible that you're crying over? Stop crying, because you don't know whether it is not even what you want. Some hopes and dreams that we build are a function of the things we see, and they're just fascinate us. And we feel, okay, I could be this, I could be that.
Or what the society has described as success.
But for me, I realized 7 years later that I'm more interested in flying destinies than flying
the plane. I like that.
Which is what led into some of the books I've written, some of the materials I put out there, some of the stories that I share, some of the events that I've done, some of the motivational content that I've put out there. In helping people know that there is more to their life than what they do and what they have.
Yeah.
That it is more about what they become.
What you have become. That's powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
So that part, becoming.
Yeah.
So going back to all of lost. Everything changed, no money, nothing. As of today, I'm the first in my father's lineage to ever graduate a university.
Wow.
To ever graduate from college in the context of Canada, let alone having a first master's, let alone wrapping up with the second master's.
Wow. You have 2 masters?
I'm on the second, wrapping up with the second.
Oh, you're wrapping up the second master's degree. Wow.
So,
that's amazing.
What would I say now pushed me to want to do things? I always say that I wish that I thought about doing more. If you ever ask me in some way, maybe some of my mistakes, I would say not dreaming bigger. Because I've come to see, as much as people do, I know where I made my mistakes. The first part is not thinking that I could do well.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Wow.
Because I think for the most part of my life, I was afraid of the concept of wealth. Because I had a set of parents who had it and they lost it.